Welcome to the Courtroom Chronicles. This channel is dedicated to educational content based on real-life cases and true events. This content shared here is drawn directly from the actual case file, and no names, places, or items have been changed. However, the content has been carefully summarized and presented for educational purposes in a comprehension format to inform, enlighten, and spark meaningful discussions. Whether you're here to learn, reflect, or simply understand the real-world scenarios better, you're in the right place. We believe in the power of truthful storytelling to educate and inspire. Disclaimer: while all stories are based on real cases, they are presented in a condensed and structured format for clarity and learning. Viewer discretion is advised where necessary. This case is cited from the Nigerian High Court online file, which is public record. This is a case of Major Oluwatoyin Ismail Braimoh versus Templecom Capital Investment Ltd and Mr. Abimbola Omoniwa, which presided at the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja Judicial Division, by Hon. Justice Y. Halilu. Date of judgment, January 27, 2021. Facts of the case. The claimant, Major Oluwatoyin Ismail Braimoh, filed a suit under the Undefended List procedure seeking payment of 9,800 BA, being funds invested with the defendants, recovery of prosecuting costs, interest at 10% per month on the judgment sum until full payment. The claimant alleged that the second defendant, Mr. Abimbola Omoniwa, acting on behalf of the first defendant, Templecom Capital and Investment Ltd, solicited an investment with a promised return of 4% monthly. Two separate investments totaling 10,000 BA were made, and agreements, Exhibits M3 and M4, were signed, setting a 90-day maturity. After partial repayment of 1,000 sems, the defendants failed to pay the balance. Subsequently, a settlement agreement, Exhibit M5, was executed where the defendants acknowledged the debt and agreed to a repayment schedule. They defaulted again. Defense: both defendants filed notices of intention to defend. The first defendant admitted the investment but claimed financial hardship and asserted that they had paid some amounts and pledged collaterals worth 7.5 million. The second defendant's affidavit mirrored the first defendant's. Court's evaluation: Justice Halilu emphasized the purpose of the Undefended List procedure, to expedite justice where there is no genuine dispute. He ruled that the defendants' affidavits did not disclose a defense on the merits. Exhibit M5, the settlement agreement, was voluntarily executed and acknowledged the outstanding debt. Any alleged payment prior to the settlement, Exhibit A1, was irrelevant since the parties later agreed to new terms. Judgment: the court awarded judgment to the claimant, 9,800 jointly and severally against the defendants, 10% post-judgment interest until full payment. Who won and why? The claimant, Major Oluwatoyin Ismail Braimoh, won the case. Reasons the defendants lost: they admitted the debt by executing a settlement agreement, Exhibit M5. Their affidavits in support of their defense failed to raise any triable issues or dispute material facts. The court held that a party who benefits from an agreement must not shirk its obligations, reinforcing the binding nature of written agreements. Further legal analysis and preventative measures. How could this have been avoided? Due diligence by the claimant. The claimant should have investigated the regulatory standing and financial health of Templecom Capital before investing. Written confirmation from regulators like SEC or CBN could have protected the investor. Stronger contractual safeguards. Inclusion of enforceable security clauses, e.g., lien, escrow accounts, or third-party guarantees. Timelines and specific default consequences should have been more robustly detailed. Periodic legal review. Both parties might have benefited from legal advice during contract drafting and renegotiations. Defendants' compliance with settlement terms. Compliance with the agreed terms in Exhibit M5 could have avoided litigation altogether. Transparent communication and seeking court-approved restructuring could have demonstrated good faith. Record keeping and documentation. The defendants relied on vague documentation, Exhibit A1, which was earlier dated than the final settlement. Clear documentation of all payments and correspondence would have strengthened their position. Conclusion: this case is a textbook illustration of how contractual obligations, once acknowledged, become binding, and failing to dispute a claim credibly or provide evidence to rebut it leads to judgment on an undefended list. It underlines the importance of good faith in commercial dealings and the legal consequences of defaulting on financial commitments. Thanks so much for watching, fam. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment below, and let me know what you think about the case. I love hearing your thoughts and feedback. And hey, if you felt a connection or learned something new, give this video a like and share it with someone who might enjoy it too. Until next time, stay safe, stay real, and I'll catch you in the next one.